Hello everybody, welcome back to Hellenic TV. I'm James Neophytou. I'm here again with Alexios Gennaris. Alex, since our last conversation, I don't know why, but Hellenic have invited us back for another chat.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
Yeah.
It's a mystery. So I thought this time we'd have 3 chapters to our conversation.
Okay,
firstly, we'll get an update on Sierra Leone. In the last conversation, we put your charity up. Hopefully people were donating, so it'd be nice to get an update on that. Secondly, we move into a new area. Given your background in needs assessing and mental health, seems to be quite an important topic at the moment, especially in the community. And then finally, if we can wrap it up with just some events that are coming up with your photography. So let's go back to your charitable work. Give us an update on what's happening around Sierra Leone.
Okay.
When are you next going, and the latest?
Okay. At Christmas time, we had the Christmas envelope drive. We managed to send 150 envelopes there, with equivalent of £5.50 pounds sterling, and that's about 3 days' wages over there. So the children there received a very, very, very big present. Yeah. So the first year I did this with about 30 children. Second year, about 70, and we had 150 children in Freetown and one of the areas called Godridge Village. So that was a big success, because even once the first lot of envelopes went, we had a request for more, which we managed to do with donations. So that was an enormous success.
Well done.
Now there's a big thing happening at the moment. We have 10 desktop PCs on their way to Sierra Leone. Now they're going to the mission, to Bishop Flemmy's mission. They have a teaching college there. Now the first year I went, 2017 I think it was, they had the IT room, and it was like a computer graveyard in there. Bits of computers here, and the priest in charge, Father Patricios, he will take a component from one PC and add it to another one in the hope that he could fix at least one.
Wow.
So that's how it was there. So we've now sent 10 desktop PCs, so they can now, the teaching students can have the support they need. These are all donated by Peter Dimitriou.
Thank you, Peter Dimitriou.
From our community.
Very good.
Of Dimitriou in English.
Yep.
I mentioned it to him one point, and then I had a call saying I've got 10 desktop PCs and monitors, filled up my car, and they've all now they're on their way to Sierra Leone. Now the Golimbithra, I think I might have mentioned the Golimbithra last time, the baptismal font. That's arrived in Freetown, and then it's at the dock, and then in the next few days it'll be at the mission, at their churches.
So before the font, how are they baptizing people?
They have one of those giant walk-in.
Ah.
So you walk through the steps, come out the other end.
Children as well?
Children, but
babies?
Babies, no. Until we went last February, they hadn't baptized any babies whatsoever. Wow. They baptized from the age 9, 10 upwards, and then adults, because they could walk through. But this was the first time when we went. So now they'll have the proper font to dip the baby in it, rather than just grab the baby by the arm and dunk them.
Amazing.
Yeah. So that's the massive thing. Once that's ready, that'd be amazing, because they have three churches there. So the fact it's portable, they can take to the
portable font.
Yes. So you can lift it up, take it from one to another. So that's a massive plus.
And can I ask how much was a font? How much is a font these days?
The font cost £1,800,
and it came from
three donations from £600 each from the 3 churches in Midlands, one in Coventry, and 2 in Birmingham. So they all got together. Alex Bandeli, probably mentioned last time as well, he had a meeting with the other 2 churches in Birmingham, and they all agreed. They put £600 each, and yeah, it came from Athens to England. From England went to Sierra Leone.
Thank you to the Midlands churches. Amazing.
Well, and that's not the only support. They supported in other ways as well, sending cash and sending provisions and goods. So it's not just a Golimbithra. It's a continuous support from them.
Okay.
So they've been really.
And where
good.
does one order a Golimbithra from? From Athens?
Well, there's a priest in England, a Greek Orthodox priest in England, who has the contacts in Athens. So I think he runs it as a business here. Really? So all the church supplies come via, and he took it. I mean, he didn't put his commission down. So basically, this priest as well has helped us immensely. He covered a lot of the costs. So this is phenomenal actually. So when I go next time, I'll be baptizing.
When you go next time, take a chisel and make sure you put Midlands churches.
Oh, they put that already. They
put a plinth already.
They've already done that.
They put a plinth already.
It's already all engraved. Now I had news a couple of weeks ago. They've now installed solar power units at the mission's orphanages in an area called Waterloo. Now there are 2 orphanages there. There's one for girls, and a lot of these girls have been abused at some stage during the process. They're now there. The majority are there. We're still waiting for more to arrive, but they're now in a safe environment. But the problem with Waterloo is you get about 2 hours maybe of electricity a day. Come 5:30, there's no light anywhere. So if you can imagine, if you've been abused and you're in this massive building and there are no lights, how you must feel. So they've added these solar powered units and the batteries. They're just waiting for the final bit to install them fully, and then they'll have the electricity. So there'll be the 2 orphanages, plus the clinic can probably take from the electricity as well. You can imagine the clinic, no electricity, no lights. The first year I went, I took them some torches you strap around your head so they can see what they're doing. Because minor surgery there is quite normal for a doctor to do, you know. So there's that. Now I mentioned last time the College of North Anglia. So Dover Brooks, they gave us boxes and boxes of their old uniforms. They arrived a few weeks back, and they had a lot of waterproof trousers, sports gear, and waterproof tops.
Are they all the right sizes?
There were so many. There were so many. But we had this lovely photo of the children and some of the mums wearing these outfits. But the photo was extra special because everyone was smiling in this photo.
Nice.
Usually they all have this sad look.
Serious.
As soon as the photo's taken, they all smile. And when I was there, when I'd be taking a group photo, I'd have 4 children, say, lining up. I'd stand back to take the photo, and another 3 would come to the side. So I'd take a step back to get the angle, and then they'd take 1 step forward. And then more children would arrive. I'd take 2 steps back. They'd take 2 steps forward. So so when I saw this photo, everyone's smiling. It just reminded me of that.
Good.
And finally, on Sierra Leone, I had a message. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. Again, there's a guy there who we sent him cotton reels and buttons, thousands of buttons, back last year in April, because he asked for them. He's a tailor. He sent me a message 2 weeks ago saying, my sewing machine's broken. I need a new sewing machine. Can you try and find one? I thought, where am I going to find a sewing machine? So next day, I was doing deliveries for my job, my proper job. Knocked on the door, and I looked next to me. There's this big bag, like a suitcase, and asked the lady, would you mind if I take this to fill it up with things for Sierra Leone? She goes, you can, but there's a sewing machine inside it. So he's now going to get his sewing machine. So yeah, that's...
You'd be amazed how many, if you go to any Greek Cypriot household, there are sewing machines in the corner from Yaya's time.
I know.
And nobody knows what to do with them.
But now, I know. Well, now everyone's asking for sewing machines in Sierra Leone because for them it's a way of making money as well. Someone needs a dress to be made or a pair of trousers. Yeah. They go to the person with the sewing machine, and that's it. They've now got a living. So his living will continue because he doesn't just feed himself and his wife and his children. He feeds his extended family, his friends, his neighbours, and that's how it works in Sierra Leone. Which is why it's always a pleasure to help him. Excellent.
So this is trade in the right way. So solar panels, modern, environmentally friendly. Africa's also progressing with mobile banking, your sewing machines. So you're not just helping individuals one-off; it's helping the community as well.
Definitely.
Amazing. When's your next trip?
The plan is April or June. I have to wait and see. But I'll know obviously closer to the time. I'd prefer April. It's at the moment it's actually the rainy season. So come April it'll be pouring with rain constantly. That's when you get the floods. That's when you get the extra, the diseases. You get all the So it's very, very difficult.
But definitely this year, 2024.
No, it will happen this year.
All right, we'll catch up either side of that. Maybe.
Definitely.
Fantastic news. Good. So that's Sierra Leone. Good to see that things are progressing. Let's move direction now. One thing I did want to talk to you about, and not many people know, is your work in assessing needs of students, etc. And that's brought up a lot of experience that you have in mental health.
Yeah, definitely.
And when we were talking recently, mental health isn't a topic that we talk about very much in the Greek community, so it's a chance for us to talk about that.
Yeah.
Now, before we do that, today's Parigiagi, I got Parigiagi every Thursday. There's a request by a Dr. Chris Papadopoulos, who's a lecturer in public health, and a Mr. Andreas Badigis, who is part of the Association of Counselling, who are looking for submissions. So it's basically a submit your own survey around mental health, and we'll put the web link underneath and a QR code. I've never seen that before, right? So they're looking for people's opinions. You've been working in this how many years? This field?
About 23, 24 years now.
24 years in assessing needs.
Yeah.
Let's condense that into 5 minutes.
Okay.
So how did you start in that, and what sort of trends have you seen? What sort of conditions are people seeing in students?
Prior to that, I was an IT trainer for students at university with various disabilities, and then through that job, I trained as an assessor. So I assess the study needs of students with disabilities at university level. This is so the most common at the time and still is dyslexia.
Right.
I was thrown in at the deep end actually. I think my first student has vision impairment, and then we had mental health almost immediately, dyslexia, so on and so forth. So my experiences have been all disabilities, whether it's physical, whether it's special needs of some sort. Yeah. So they're the whole range of disabilities. Mental health, though, at the start, anxiety disorder in particular wasn't regarded as a disability.
Right.
So then it was the local authorities who would deal with it. So if a student said they had anxiety disorder, it was dismissed. But more recently, it's been accepted as a condition. Now, COVID time was a big time because first of all, the assessments used to be face to face. So they come to an office all around the country, so there were offices, and they'd see the assessor, and then we determine what support they need. And then COVID happened, and then there was everything stopped for several months, and then they started doing the assessments, but via either telephone or video, Zoom or Teams or what have you. And then I was assessing about 10. I was doing about 10 students a week during that period. Out of the 10, 6 would have had anxiety disorder, but diagnosed and accepted as a condition. Some would come with dyslexia, for example. On top of that, they had anxiety disorder, or they show signs of anxiety disorder.
Presumably, though, if it's a condition in the mental health manual, it needs a professional to diagnose it, right? Does it need? That
would be a GP or a psychiatrist. So they come with the diagnosis, and then I assess them based on that and what they tell me.
Their educational needs, or what do they need to help them through their studies?
That's right. Yes. So we'd ask questions about their ability to focus when it comes to reading, writing, note taking, their confidence issues, which they would be. One of the things that several students say they have panic attacks. So we'd find something practical for that. I'd suggest them they find a safe place, either in the university campus or nearby, a coffee shop, somewhere, a park where they feel comfortable. And then what would happen is if they feel a panic attack coming on, they'd head for that safe place. The closer they get to it, the more relaxed they feel, and then the panic attack subsides. So it's not just equipment and human support.
You're also giving them techniques, tools to help them.
Yeah, it's very, very important. But with anxiety disorder, several students would come with another disability or condition, and then I'd recognise signs of anxiety disorder. Now, if someone has dyslexia, for example, they'll get study skills support. They'll get a computer, software to help them for reading, for writing, what have you, but they'll have study skills support. Now, If they also have anxiety disorder diagnosed and verified, they get mentoring support.
Right.
The mentoring support is important because it helps them to focus, it helps raise their confidence, and they can see what they can achieve. But without that diagnosis, so I'd send them off to their GP and I'd say, look, mention how you feel and what you're going through, and then if you get that diagnosis, we can then recommend the mentoring support afterwards as well. And sometimes that's more beneficial than the study skills, because if you can't deal with the issues you're going through. But also what I found is with the anxiety disorder is they blame COVID for the anxiety disorder. But it was there before.
Yeah.
But COVID's something they can actually latch onto and say, that's why. I had a couple of students who had they were attacked. They had shoulder injuries. They were homophobic acts, basically. They came from countries where they would be beaten, stoned because of their sexuality. They came to the UK thinking it's safe here, and because of that, they were beaten up.
Sure.
Two of them had shoulder injuries, so they blamed the shoulder injury for their depression.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the shoulder. That's something tangible, something you can actually say.
Yeah.
That's why I now have depression, but it would have been there a long time before.
Yes, trauma.
Yeah.
Okay. So anxiety has gone up. It's difficult to diagnose it. I mean, and you mentioned mentoring. What's the difference between a mentor and a coach? Because I'm assuming that a mentor needs to be a trained person.
There's three things to distinguish. There's mentoring, there's coaching, there's counselling. A coach is quite high powered and it's quite specific, like with business. You want to reach the top. With mentoring and counselling generally will take you back to a point, and then you move forward. With mentoring, you'd start from today and you see where you're going. So you look at the positives. So, for example, I'm mentoring an 18-year-old guy at the moment who's going for his A-levels. So he performed badly previously. So now he wants to get the grades to go to university. So I'm mentoring him to help him move forward. So we look at the goals they need to set and how you can achieve them as well.
Okay. I also know that you once, I don't know if you still do it, but you combined your mental health interest and therapy with photography.
Yeah.
There was a photography
photography therapy, yeah. So I devised it several years ago. About 25, if not 30 years ago, when I was at a christening party, and my friend's son, he was all over the place. He was going under the table, climbing over the chairs, standing on the tables as well. And I had a bridge camera, so you have got the viewfinder, you've got the screen. I switched the screen off. I gave him the camera and I said, "Go and take some photos." And he was so focused on that hole. So you're looking through that hole, that he behaved.
Calmed him down.
He calmed down. He behaved, and he took some amazing photos as well. Actually, he was only about 4 or 5 at the time. So through that, I devised the therapy. Now the therapy is looking through the viewfinder, because even if I do that now, I can't see you. I can't see you.
You're concentrating on your focus.
You're so focused on that, so you forget about all the stimuli that are around you. But there are specific themes. The first week is depth and perception. So, for example, if you're out and there's a row of trees, it shows depth. If there's a country lane, it shows depth. So that's what you're searching for. So now, not only are you looking through that hole, and you're cutting out external stimuli, you're so focused on finding the shot you want that you forget about your worries. And then each week there's a different theme for 4 weeks. 5th week there's a mini exhibition if it's done with a set out of centre. I did it with the charity Mind. Worked really well with Mind, and also I did the therapy with a homeless charity, but I couldn't call it a therapy because the people there they said, "I'm just homeless. There's nothing wrong with me."
Sure.
Even though one of them had schizophrenia and one of them had depression, so different title, but it's the same sort of process.
Yeah, but it's still a healthy activity for them to do.
Definitely.
Have you done this recently? It sounds like something you can reignite.
I haven't done it for a while, but I've had a charity that's interested in it, and a few people just generally, either as groups or doing groups of 4 or individuals.
I tell you what, people sometimes follow you around churches as well, taking photographs. So I think you might start from there in terms of showing people how to focus. I think last time you mentioned when chanters are chanting, you wait for them to hold the note. Otherwise you get contortions. Little tricks like that might help people to to concentrate.
And then they can go and do it instead of me.
Well,
and
then
give
you've
me
got
a
to hand
rest.
over to the next generation.
Definitely, yeah.
Generation. Good. Okay. I think that's the theme we're going to obviously have to come back to.
Definitely.
Lots of stories around mental health. We'll help these guys with their survey.
Definitely,
We'll submit.
that's a good idea.
And elevating it, becoming a bit more normal, anti-stigmatise it, I guess, to discuss. So, great work. To finish then, let's just close the last 5 or 10 minutes with the latest community things that are happening. Tell us all your travels recently, what's happening, a couple of things coming up. We're in the middle of February now. By the time this goes out, there will still have things happening around April, Easter time. So over to you.
Okay. Well, bearing in mind we're in London, so community news is
wide.
It's for us at the moment. There's obviously several things have happened. Photo-wise in the churches, I'm still going around the churches. We had the Feast of Alexios Gennaris just the other day, so I was at a church there in East Hyde with His Eminence taking photos there. There was an ordination a few weeks back, which I think a lot of people won't realise the importance of this particular ordination compared to the others.
Right.
Father Jeremiah, his name, he became a deacon on a Sunday. On the Monday, he had his ordination to become a priest. So literally, he was a deacon for a day. Next day, he became a priest, and he's from the Republic of Ireland.
Right.
So he's going back to Ireland now, and to start an Orthodox community.
Wow.
He doesn't have a church. He doesn't have premises. He doesn't have a flock, but he's going to start from scratch. So,
with some sheep,
like the apostles,
literal sheep
did. So he's a lovely guy. So very calm, very.
So he's on a mission.
So he's starting afresh, And as I said to him, he'll be treading in the footsteps of St. Patrick.
The originals.
Yeah. So that's
amazing,
and that's something massive. That's something we need to return to at some point.
Yeah.
So
I'll sign up for a trip to Ireland.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Now we had service with the three hierarchs. It doesn't sound like a massive thing, the three hierarchs, but it was held at Holy Cross and Archangel Michael in Golders Green. His Eminence was there. There was a speaker from the Essex Monastery as well. The abbot, in fact, came to give us a talk as well. But the church was packed, absolutely packed. It's a long time since I've seen one of these talks. The abbot is obviously drew them there, but it was a wonderful occasion, wonderful service, and seeing so many people. And then that Sunday, the church was almost packed again. So people did return to the church there.
Good.
So the priest in charge, Father Visadny, he's doing an amazing job. It's great
to have these events that bring people to the church, not just for the services, but also cultural events, etc. Speaking of that, what's coming up? We've got the President of Cyprus coming.
That's right,
Greek Cypriot Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Anything else
on
the horizon?
That's on the 16th of April,
right.
That one. But prior to that, on the 17th of March, there's a lady, Hellenic. She's got Asteragia, and Asteragia is she runs nursery or play groups, but in Greek. Here in the UK, which is very rare to have that.
Sure.
The kids learn through song, through arts and crafts, through dance, through movement.
Where is this?
She does this it's in North London, but I will hopefully put up the website address. But she's got the carnival coming up on the 17th of March at the Greek Cypriot
Brotherhood.
At the Brotherhood again. So these are such professional events. And I keep saying she's one of our treasures, our Cypriot treasures. So that's an event for the children there, and Hellenic TV will be there with their cameras as well.
Excellent.
I'll be there with taking photos, so it'll be a very good time.
Good. All right. So that's some major events. Also, the choir of the School of Byzantine Music is also arranging some events.
Why do you know so much about the choir?
Because I'm in the
James?
choir.
Oh, there you go.
I'm in the choir. We're going to Woolwich, which we've never been to before.
Yeah, that's
what's the church?
Christ the Saviour.
Yeah, that's
a lovely community
13th of April at the moment. St. Panteleimon invited 20th of April. Alexios Neophytou in Battersea, 26th.
Yeah.
So just the pre-Easter season with kind of Easter-themed chanting and also some folk music as well.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Alex. Anything
You're
else we
welcome,
wanted
James.
to cover?
I think we covered
I think we
everything.
covered quite a lot of ground.
I've had my notes there.
Go on.
Literally, because
Any sponsors that we need to mention that we
do
have?
you know, not really. But I'm holding up the Dover Brooks mug because they donated so many uniforms last time, and they're going to continue donating. It's a boarding school in Oxford, but they're doing so much work for us. There's 2 other colleges there as well. But like I said, I made notes because obviously when you say children have got a mind like a sponge.
Yeah.
Mine's like a sponge, but one of those sponges with big holes in it.
It drips through.
Yes, hence the note, Joe. So thank you very much.
Good. All right. Thanks for the chat, Alex. We'll see
Lovely.
you again next time. Thank you, viewers.
Brilliant.
See you again soon.
Thank you very much, James.